I feel like cameras just make you feel like uglier than what you usually are. Does anybody else get that feeling? Hello. If you clicked the title of this video, I'd assumed you know what we're going to be talking about today, but I just want to say thank you for clicking this video. I'm a very new YouTuber. This is my first video. I've wanted to do YouTube since I was about, I want to say 6. I used to be like really into the little oh my gosh, I know what I'm talking about, it just slipped my mind. Littlest Pet Shops. I used to like Littlest Pet Shop. I wanted to make the little skits, and I would want to talk about like certain topics with the pet shop mascot toy thing. I was just really interested in like talking and sharing my opinions and stuff like that when I was little, and I still am. So I'm taking a shot at YouTube. If I don't do it now, I may never do it, and there are some pretty juicy topics that are constantly on my mind that I need to talk about, or else I will go insane. But yeah, I think YouTube would be a good idea, and I think it's fun, and I see other people do it, and why not? Anyway, the point of all of that was to say thank you for clicking on this video, and thank you for hearing me out. I hope that I'm interesting, and I hope this video catches your attention and rakes in the audience that I'm hoping to rake in. Because one of my biggest fears is like that I'm boring, or that I'm actually really annoying, because I know I can be annoying, but insecurities aside, let's get into today's video topic, which is, if you haven't guessed it, Colleen Hoover. But before we talk about Miss Hoover, we have to talk about where her success originated from, or like who's responsible, because Lord, if it wasn't for this platform, I don't think she would be popular at all. I'm trying to hide the fact that I am in fact a Colleen Hoover auntie. Is it working? I don't think it is. I'm not too good at not being mean when necessary. But that platform, or that success maker, is Book Talk. So in, I want to say about early 2020, mid 2020, mainly in like the quarantine times, the app TikTok, which we all know, and some of us love it, some of us detest and despise it. The app TikTok was separated into multiple sides, and I remember a lot of these sides pretty well. Each side went under like a different name. You had straight TikTok.
It's about dang time. In a minute, I'm gonna need my handsome boyfriend to come over and wife me up. Feeling fussy, living without a hubby. So come on, babe, let's get this done.
What would you do if I was a UFO and you were jogging and I hovered right above you, and when you looked up we made eye contact, and then I said to you slowly, any last words?
A walking nightmare. Anyway, then you had alt TikTok.
にゃ、123、にゃ、ありがとう。にゃ、123、にゃ、ありがとう。
There was deep TikTok.
When I was little, I used to think that if you slept in the same bed as a boy, you would get pregnant.
There was point of view talk. There were a lot of talks. If you remember any of those videos, I think that you should be given therapy, and it should be paid for either by the government or TikTok. Cause I know I remember them, and I am deeply traumatized. Before we continue, I'm gonna put y'all on this tea. Let me go get the package, cause This tea, Lord Jesus.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
This right here, bro. How that one meme go? Those little caramel things. Give me one right now. Tear it up live.
I mean, let me tell you something. I don't know what they call that stuff, but that little like caramel, man. You just stop playing. I mean, if they give me one right now, tear it up live.
Yeah, this tea, so good. I'm trying to do the video, but all I can do is go.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I think that was a sign from God to get back to the video. Anyway, with all of these sides of TikTok emerged a different talk, which was book talk. And on book talk, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but they talked about books. Some people review books, others recommend books, some people even write books. But, long story short, book talk is about books and loving books. Now, on book talk, you may have to do a little bit of searching, but if you search hard enough, you will find different genres being talked about. But the main genre that book talk seems to be into is romance. Some romance books that book talk likes to recommend include many, but some that I've written and can think of off the top of my head include The Love Hypothesis, Summer I Turned Pretty, Icebreaker. We all know about Icebreaker. And anything by our woman of the day, Colleen Hoover. But then people started to really dig deep into Colleen Hoover's books and realized they shouldn't be in the romance category at all. Before we get into her books, and sorry I keep looking in the viewfinder, I swear to God I am not the most vainest man on the planet. Dreadhead, y'all get the struggle, bro. Like, you be talking, Dread number 1 is in seat number 42, Dread number 42 is in seat number 5, and then if you have glasses, your glasses just keep falling off the side of your face. Then you start noticing that you kind of look fat in the shoulders, your necklace doesn't look right, and then you debate, just turning the camera off, hiding under a blanket forever, and never going out to see the light of day. But anyway, let's get back to the program. I don't even know why my camera is trying to act different, but apparently I lost the clip to provide context for what's happening next. Basically, I thought that we can't really start on well, we could, but I don't want to. I thought instead of starting on the books, let's start on her, like, background and her as a person. So yeah, that's what the next segment is. Colleen Hoover is a 43-year-old American, mostly self-published author known for her young adult romance books. She's also a Sagittarius from Sulphur Springs, Texas, a wife and the mother of 3 boys by the names of Kale, Levi, and Beckham. I guess she applied her horrible character naming skills to real life. I would hate my mom if she named me Kale or Beckham. Well, Beckham's not that bad, I guess. It just sounds like a last name, but Kale? Anyway, she'd been writing ever since about November 2011, from what I could find on Google. From then to now, she's written about 28 books. And yes, I did sit counting how many books this woman has made, and the number I came up to was about 28. Around late 2020 or even early 2021, somewhere around that time, maybe even really early 2022, a couple of her titles completely blew up on Book Talk. Mainly her books such as Ugly Love, November 9, and the most well-known, It Ends With Us. Now, if any of these sound extremely familiar, don't be surprised, because this woman outsold the Bible. But yeah, these books were extremely popular, and even still are, especially on Book Talk. I remember anytime I went to a bookstore, or Target, or even on Book Talk at a point, her books were everywhere and receiving high praise. And even in present day, people still love and enjoy her books.
I just finished this masterpiece.
Let them eat cake. That's such nonsense. I would never say that.
Ryan cost Dunder Mifflin hundreds of thousands of dollars, Michael.
You know
Ryan...
what? David, I don't care if Ryan murdered his entire family.
But over time, people started to really notice things about her books, and even one of her sons. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. But anyway, her books started to receive lots of criticism and even hatred. Many people found new reasons to strongly hate her books, and a lot of those reasons were quite valid, honestly. In this segment, we're going to talk about why people dislike her books first, and then we're going to move on to, like, why people might not like her as a person, because of her views, the allegations against her son. Yeah. And I say allegations because I don't know if these were, like, expanded on or not. I remember, like, looking at the screenshots and seeing the tweets and stuff like that, but I don't know if these were ever expanded on or if her son was ever arrested. Or I also don't want to get sued by Colleen Hoover because I don't have money for that, and I don't want to give Colleen more money than she already needs, because Lord knows that woman does not need it. Many people started to dislike her books because they reviewed them and didn't see the hype. They came off as repetitive and boring and, like, low-grade Wattpad fanfiction. If I'm being honest, that's mean the Wattpad writers. I've seen some Wattpad writers throw down. I used to use Wattpad in the back. Ooh, guys. I don't even want to get into that. I was a Wattpad stan. I was a writer on Wattpad. I was also a Tumblr guy. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I've already said too much. But Colleen's books include, like, one main storyline, which are, like, well, storyline even the right word for it? It's like, her books include a basis? I don't know. Basically, most of her books, if not all of them, are creepy weird guy pines for girl who is spineless and has no backbone and will take whatever creepy guy gives her. Great. Sounds like a catch. Sounds like a treat. Amazing material, right? Colleen Hoover is definitely the next Nabokov. Nabokov is probably rolling in his damn grave right about now. Oh, and I forgot to mention, her books include a whole bunch of... I can't say the word that I want to say, I don't think, but I'll just say smut. I hate that word. Really quick, I just want to say I'm not shaming people for reading smut or even watching it. It's just the fact that Colleen Hoover's is very odd and sometimes unconsensual. We're gonna get into that element really quick, but long story short, people found their books to be really, really shitty. They're just the same repetitive storyline over and over and over and over and over and over. And it's just... it's boring. And then it doesn't help that her writing is so mediocre. It's like, if an edgy, I want to say, middle schooler might be pushing it, but no, it's not. I'm not giving her any grace. It's like if an edgy 7th grader wrote a book with lots of spicy scenes, but it really just comes off as a very weird, creepy, badly written, almost Wattpad story. Colleen Hoover is for people who didn't get their fanfiction phase, or they never got out of it, and they're still reading the fanfiction, the very badly written fanfiction, just in book form. Not shaming people for reading fanfiction. I read fanfiction! But, yeah. Then people looked even deeper and they found even more reasons to not like Colleen's work. In this upcoming segment of the video and for the rest of the video, we are going to be talking about some very triggering and serious topics. Things such as, I hate that we have to say stuff like this on YouTube, but grape, if you get what I'm saying, SA, DV, fetishization, teacher-student relationships in high school, discrimination, stealthing, incest. There's so many more, but yeah, those are like the main ones that you really need to look out for. If any of those are triggering for you or can be dangerous for you to hear about, please click off the video, go watch something that'll make your mind more happy. You can always come back to the next one, like, comment, subscribe, if you want to. Maybe you don't like me, I don't know. But you can click off the video because a video is way less important than your mental health. It's not weird or odd to be triggered by these kinds of things. It honestly just shows that you are not desensitized and that you care. And if you are desensitized, I'm not demonizing you. I'm desensitized to a lot of these things. However, they are wrong, and that's why we're talking about them today, because they are dangerous. And some people still aren't desensitized. Some people are incredibly sensitive to these things, and that is okay. Click off this. Go to the next one, or go to a different video, all in general. Hope you're okay. If you're still here, I assume that you are okay with what we're going to talk about next. If it does get to be too much for you, for any reason, just like what I said in the previous segment, click off. Value your mental health more than a video, please. But the Colleen Hoover, I don't know why my brain wants to call her everything but her name. Let's try this again. The Colleen Hoover hate train really picked up the pace after, number one, people saw how lazy her books were, but number two, how people saw that she was using very intricate and serious topics as plot devices. Not even I'll explain that, but people did not like it. Many people noticed that she was romanticizing extremely serious topics. Things like DV, I hope you guys know what I'm talking about, maybe I'll include a text or something, but DV, incest, grape, SA, stealthing, all kinds of things. A lot of these topics were in her most popular books. Romanticization of DV is in so many. Incest was romanticized in Ugly Love, and I think a couple of other ones. I can't remember because, honestly, I don't want to remember. Oh, November 9. That's the one that had some questionable smut scenes that were really just RAP, you know what, and SA. There was even a whole bunch of people called out Colleen in a few years ago, because in November 9, her book, there was a scene where the main character, I think her name, I want to say Falcone. Oh my god, okay. Yes, we like Batman over here. We love Batman. We eat Batman. We sleep Batman. We breathe Batman. So excited for Batman. The second movie, by the way. But anyway. Hey guys, it's me again. I know you guys are probably so tired of seeing this Roblox face, but that's what you're gonna see for today. I just remembered there is another book. It's called Too Late. And it's about obsessive love, and it has a lot of RAPE scenes, and I believe domestic violence. And while she may not have been trying to romanticize it, you are seen as a romance author, so everyone's just gonna chuck that under a romance story. Nobody's gonna really think twice about it. Especially not any of her crazed fans. I mean, some Colleen Hoover fans can be cool, can be chill, I think. But others, you say anything about Colleen Hoover, now there's a steak knife in your back. But I can't really blame it on the people when I do have to say that if Colleen didn't romanticize every other terrible situation in her books, then maybe this story would be separate, and maybe it would be easy to separate, like, the stories into horrifying instead of love, but all of them classify under romance for her, so nobody can really do that. Maybe if you didn't romanticize other bad things, people wouldn't lump that in with a romance book, which in turn is still on Colleen Hoover and reflects her previous actions. Why should readers and critics have to do more work for you with separating your genres of books? If you're a good writer, you should be able to do that without us having to do it in the first place. There is a scene that is now taken out because people hounded her for it, where Ben and Fallon, it's not funny, but I keep saying Falcon, and then I keep wanting to say Falcone. I don't know what my deal is. But Fallon and Ben were engaging in some contact, and Fallon did not want to, or at least she said no multiple times. I don't remember how Colleen framed that, but I think she was just trying to make it look kind of like a sexy little bit where it's like, oh no, I don't want to sleep with you, but I want to sleep with you. But it wasn't. It was actually more like grape, and it was terrifying, honestly. I'm someone who writes, and I'm not saying that writers should stray away from these topics or not talk about it. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. Writers should be allowed to write about what they want. That's called creative freedom, but you should not be romanticizing it. You shouldn't be making it seem like this is okay, especially when you are targeted as a romance author, which I still don't get how she is. She should be a horror novelist at best. And then it's especially dangerous if young girls and young women read your books, Colleen. But I write, and I've had to write some pretty scary scenes, but you have to make it apparent in your book, or at least as a person, that you do not stand for that, and that is not okay whatsoever. Because when you don't, you get people saying things like, this is okay. This isn't something we need to be concerned about, and it is. Is not okay. Not is okay. Basically, the character clearly did not want to engage in this contact with the other character, and then people were disturbed by it, so they were they were blowing Colleen Hoover shit up and was like, yeah, this isn't okay, we don't like this, and she took it out. And since then it's been changed. However, the fact that this material is found in your other books leaves a bad taste in my mouth. A good example of a writer who has written some terrible material, meaning terrible as in very gut-wrenching, make you want to throw up material, not bad material as in bad style of writing, he's an amazing writer, is Nabokov. Vladimir Nabokov wrote the book Lolita, which I want to talk about on this channel so badly. But he wrote a book called Lolita about a 12-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl, who is whisked away by her evil stepfather, Humbert Humbert, and he does not want her because of, like, a father-daughter relationship. He wants her, if you get what I'm saying. Throughout the whole book, it's just him detailing his obsession with this young girl and with young girls just in general. He even knows what he's doing is wrong. And the book is all in Humbert Humbert's point of view, but it doesn't romanticize it. He's meant to be an unreliable character who is manipulating the audience, but you still know that it is wrong. And that is the sign of a good writer, and that is the sign of a writer who takes their job, honestly, seriously. Colleen Hoover does not do anything of the sort. She just sprinkles in trauma and terrifying things, just to hurry along the plot. Just as a little quirky device. It's insensitive to people who actually go through those things, and it's dangerous for the people who haven't gone through them because it makes them more susceptible to accept something like that. There are also various other books in the Colleen Hoover universe that have very questionable material. I think it's Slammed. It's a story about, I think, a teacher and a student. And not all teacher-student relationships are this questionable. Some are obviously weird still, even if they don't include people in high school, which Slammed does. It's about a teacher and his student in high school. But she's 18, so it's fine. When you are a senior in high school, you just turned 18. You haven't even been 18 for a full year. Long story short, people noticed literal crimes being romanticized and glazed over in her books, and they didn't like that very much. And combine that with how lazy they are, yeah, people were freaked out.
Colleen Hoover book is exactly the same.
TikTok is asking why Colleen Hoover gets so much hate. I volunteer as tribute. Okay, I'm gonna show one picture and it'll explain everything. What the fuck?
Then people also started to notice the discrimination in her books, mainly against minorities. I don't think there is, sorry, I think I'm jumping all over the place, but, like, her books are genuinely so bad. It's, like, insane. There's a movie supposed to be coming out, with Blake Lively. The Blake Lively? I don't even know how that happened. But yeah, people also started to notice, on top of everything else, that her books did not. I don't think I've read one Colleen Hoover book, and believe me, I've read one actually. I read Verity, and I have done intensive research on other ones. Probably will never read another Colleen Hoover book, unless I am chained in the basement against my will. But I don't think in any of her books are there any black people. I don't think I've read any Native people, any Indian people, Asian people. It's just white people. There are no trans people, no not able-bodied people. And when she tried to take a shot at not writing able-bodied people, it turns out the lady was actually able-bodied, just faking. No gay people. Well, actually, no. No, there was a gay person, but he was used as a plot device, and it was just a very weird exchange. Then there were sprinkles of very right-wing, Republican, ideals sprinkled in the books, and that's where the stealthing really comes in, because Colleen Hoover men are weird and all have a pregnancy fetish. Oh, speaking of fetishes, there was a burn fetish in November 9. I don't know if I lost the clip or what, but in this next segment we are going to talk about the allegations against Colleen Hoover's son. A 16-year-old girl messaged Colleen Hoover on, I believe it was Twitter, and claimed that allegedly Colleen Hoover's 21-year-old son Levi Hoover had essayed or raped her. I don't want to say anything that's incorrect, but she claimed something of the sort. And apparently, after the girl tried to reach out to Colleen allegedly blocked the girl, and that's why the girl took it to the main public, because she didn't want to at first. But later on, Colleen said in a Facebook message group, I think of her fans or something, that this wasn't true, that her son did, I think she said her son did send like a text or a message or something like that made the girl uncomfortable, but they made sure to, like, deal with it, and it was confronted, and then that girl just posted that, and but she said that she never blocked her. You know, I'll link a news article down in the description. However, I just wanted to point that out because I found it odd that you write stories including, honestly, graphic essay bordering, rape bordering scenes, and then there were allegations against your child. But yeah, all of that is alleged. I'm going to end this video pretty soon because this video, I can only imagine how long this is going to take to edit, and I am not pleased about that. But I just wanted to say, if I could say anything to Colleen, write better, number one. Number two, make the scenes, the spicy scenes, make it very clear that the characters are consenting. Don't use words like no and stuff like that. It's not good, and stop writing them so forcefully. Sometimes don't write them at all. I know that's your thing, but maybe, like, I don't know, you can briefly write, oh, they did the do, and then move on to the next scene. Come up with more, like, interesting storylines, because some of her storylines, I have to admit, are interesting. Like Verity, I low-key thought the Verity might be like a good book, because I like read the back and I heard some stuff about it, and I was like, hey, this kind of sounds like it's gonna chew a bit, sounds like it's gonna eat down a little bit. No, it did not. November 9 seemed interesting. Even It Ends With Us, until she popped out with the freaking Dear Ellen journals. If I missed anything, because I probably did, I might include it in the description. Maybe I'll make a part 2. I don't really know. I do have an idea. Let me know if you want to see this, but what if I read some Colleen Hoover books that I haven't read? Because technically I have only read one. I've heard an overwhelming amount of bad things about the other books, but I have technically only read one Colleen Hoover book. So if you want me to read, let's say 4, 5 of them, that could be a video. Just let me know if that sounds interesting, and I'll get on it. I'll get cracking. Alright, thank you for watching. This is going to be a treat to edit. I'm so excited. Like, comment, subscribe. Saying turn on notifications makes me sound like Jake Paul. What time is it? It is 8:44. I started filming around 4. Yeah, I'm gonna head out. Have a nice night, or a nice morning, or whenever you're seeing this, afternoon, I don't know. And stay safe, and stay cool, and stay amazing. And do not read Colleen Hoover. Bye.